Aya, and the topics for today are New Year's resolutions. So first, we're going to talk about how to actually keep the resolutions that you make.
Princess, did you make any New Year's resolutions for this year?
It was basically just strengthening the ones I already had. So I'm a pescatarian, so I think becoming a vegetarian is my New Year's resolution.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for the main one. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really make any specific ones because I didn't really stick to many of my ones last year. But I think I've kind of used the same ones as last year, just reduced. So last year I wanted to read 100 books and I did not do that. So my goal is to read like a book a month, so 12 books.
Oh, that's good.
Because I read like one last year. Just anything that's not academic. No, just yeah, anything non-academic. Because I obviously read like textbooks and stuff, but I wanted to try and read like some books I actually enjoy.
Oh, that's good.
And also to like just take care of myself better. So start cooking more, do more exercise, and just general New Year's resolutions like that.
Yeah, I thought those are the standard resolutions.
Yeah. And I feel like making them less rigid is an easy way to actually stick to them. So instead of saying like you'll exercise every day, just exercise more, exercise 3 times a week.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes resolutions are unrealistic.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes people break it quicker.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any other New Year's resolutions?
Another resolution of mine was probably to study more. I think we're going to study more and actually focusing on my work.
Yeah,
so that times you get distracted by stuff around you, so it's kind of stopping the distractions from affecting my work. But yeah, I didn't really do that much this year.
Yeah, I completely feel that. I think that's one of my resolutions is to reduce my screen time, which I feel kind of the reason I want to do it is so that I can focus on work more, because I feel like I'm always on my phone doing something rather than actually working, especially stuff like Instagram and Twitter. I just feel like I'm constantly on there when I should be doing, work.
Honestly, I feel you. I'm exactly the same. I'm trying to. What I started my New Year's resolution for last year was once a day I put my phone in the cupboard and not use it for the whole day. And it was quite therapeutic because it allowed you to kind of like remove the distractions away from you.
I think that's a really good idea, actually. I probably should do that because I'm definitely on my phone more than I should be.
Yeah, same.
So how did you celebrate New Year's Eve this year? Because obviously celebrations this year are going to be different from other years, so...
Yeah, I just spent it with my family, just all kind of, again, the countdown, and then once it was into the new year, we all just watched movies together. Just something. I feel like I liked this, the way it happened this year than last year, because I feel like you get so many distractions being around so many people that you don't spend time with the people you're close with.
Yeah, so, I definitely get that.
I feel like it's kind of nice to do that. What about you? How did you spend it?
Yeah, so I just spent it in my uni flat with my boyfriend because we're a support bubble. And yeah, we just stayed up watching movies until the countdown. Usually I would go to like one of my friends' houses and like all my friends would get together and we'd have like a mini kind of party where we just like have a few snacks and just stay up until midnight and wait for the countdown. But obviously this year we couldn't do that. But I actually really enjoyed my New Year's this year because, like you said, it's nice to spend time with less people, so you're more focused on the person you're with rather than like an entire party of people.
Honestly, definitely.
I feel like it's also this year has been quite good to. Well, I mean, I guess now it's 2021, but 2020 has been quite a good year to like focus on yourself more and focus on like family a lot more, which I feel like is a nice thing because I think sometimes we're so caught up on you know, what we're doing and where we're going and stuff, that we kind of just forget to actually connect with our family and ourselves.
100%. I feel like it also helps everyone. I think everyone kind of like to understand ourselves better.
Yeah.
Everyone had, and that, like, we could remove ourselves from everything that normally distracted us and focus on us and self-growth and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely think that I've like found a lot of, maybe not found, but just like gotten better at doing things for enjoyment rather than for a cause. Like, so because I had so much free time and I couldn't really go out anywhere, I kind of had to like, you know, draw more and like learn how to do new skills, and just kind of like I had time to cook for fun and just stuff like that. So I think in a way this year was quite good for that. But I am looking forward to 2020 hopefully being able to do more. And it's kind of taught me to appreciate things that I took for granted before, like, you know, just casual things like going to the cinema. I feel like I took for granted, which now I'm like really looking forward to be able to do again.
Yeah, same. That's probably one of the first things that I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah.
Going to cinema or going bowling or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you look forward most to this year?
I would say I love to like, I think family abroad. I would love to go abroad this year, as well as there are loads of hobbies that I started since 2020 that I would love for it to continue and like to actually take it more seriously and make it more than a hobby.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a good idea. And yeah, this is like the perfect time as well to like turn your hobbies into like bigger things.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like this year I have a lot to like do academically. Like I need to find a placement and I'm looking forward to stuff like that. But also kind of looking forward to just figuring out a routine in like this new world, I guess. To just figuring out how to like, you know, make the most of it.
Definitely. I suppose it also showed us that, you know, certain stuff that we thought, you know, like we could have fun doing, there are loads of other stuff that we can do to have fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, I feel like I'm definitely in love with movie nights now. So I think that's one thing that this year has taught me that I enjoy.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. Yeah, I've had a new appreciation for movies because I've always been more of a TV series kind of person, but because I don't know why I find it a lot easier to watch a few episodes of TV than watch a whole movie. I feel like because TV kind of moves faster than a movie, but now I've kind of had time to like, you know, sit and watch a movie with my family and friends, and like I definitely have a new appreciation for movie nights.
Yeah. So, in terms of academic, what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to kind of hopefully getting more on track with what my academics are, kind of staying in contact. I feel like now I've finally gotten used to like online learning and like doing everything online and not being able to go to uni lectures as frequently. So I'm hoping that now I'll be able to kind of create a better routine and kind of hopefully struggle less with keeping up with my academics and hopefully do well in my exams and that. And also I'm looking forward to finding a placement because I'm doing a sandwich degree. So next year I guess this next academic year, so third year, I'm doing a year placement and I haven't found one yet. So I'm really looking forward to finding a placement and kind of sorting out where I'm going to live in third year and just stuff like that. What about you?
I'm in my last year, so this year I'm graduating. So just looking forward to like, you know, going into the life after uni and stuff like that. Like my dissertations and stuff like that. Also finding a place for my masters. So I feel like it's a lot of the end and stuff and the beginning of new stuff, and just trying to get used to that.
Yeah, how do you think graduation is going to be this year?
I think it'll be a lot better. And to be honest, I feel like regardless of how it's going to, happen, I think it'll still be good because, it's like the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
I feel like whether it's online or there, I think it'll still be a good thing. Like, I'll still be happy either way. But I prefer, to receive it in person. But if it's online, then I'm still fine with that.
Yeah, I do get you. I think either way, it's like a big thing to be proud of because there's 3 years of hard work. So even if it is online, it's still a huge achievement and something you should look forward to.
Definitely.
So do you know what you want to do after uni, or have you not decided yet?
I'm doing masters. So of course I'm trying to find like courses, and I'm starting like my applications for it and stuff like that. Trying to do it ahead of time.
I think that's a good goal.
So, yeah, definitely. I don't want it to be close to the deadline and I don't know what I'm doing and stuff like that. Figure out now.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm struggling with finding a placement, is because I have to leave it quite late to get the kind of placement I want, but I'm also worried that I won't find a placement because I'm leaving it quite late.
And I get you. I think last year I was going to do placement. Like I had the option of doing it, but I didn't because I couldn't find places.
Yeah.
Which kind of bugs me because I feel like having a placement year is really good. It allows you to like have experience and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping that with a work placement as well, I can try and find a better like work-life balance, because especially with everything being online, I kind of feel like I'm at a computer the entire day. And like I said earlier, one of my New Year's resolutions is to reduce my screen time. So I'm hoping that this year I can find a better work-life balance. Even if I have to do everything online, maybe that just means finding a different place to work and a different place to relax. But that is kind of, I guess, a New Year's resolution, is to try and find a better work-life balance and not feel like I'm just sitting at my computer 24/7, I guess.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, but there's so many things to look forward to, whether it's academically or not. Yeah, whether it's academic or not, it's good to like have targets and goals to look forward to.
Yeah. I've been trying to make a 21 goals for 2021 because I have seen a lot online of people like doing stuff like that, and I just kind of think that if you can make loads of little goals, that could be more achievable. Like yeah, so I think a lot of little goals is easier to keep track of than like unrealistic goals. So like my last year goal to read 100 books was quite unrealistic because that would require so much reading a week on top of like academics, which is why I've reduced it to a book a month, because I feel like that's a lot more reasonable. And I've started like bullet journaling because again I've seen it online and thought that it was an interesting idea, because it kind of, you have to like be quite conscious. So I don't know if you know what bullet journaling is, but it's basically just like you make your own planner, but you can kind of include anything you want in it. So you can have like habit trackers, so you can track like how much sleep you get and stuff like that. And I feel like that's really good for like New Year's resolutions, because I feel like a lot of the common New Year's resolutions is like eat healthy and like exercise and sleep better. So like making a bullet journal is a really easy way to keep on top of that, because you kind of have to consciously track how much sleep you've gotten, how many meals you've cooked yourself, how much exercise you've done and stuff like that. And I feel like if you consciously have to like write that down, like today I didn't do any exercise, that kind of makes it easier for you to stick with like what your resolutions are.
That's really good. I've never heard of a book journal before.
Yeah, it's
Something I
really
will look
simple.
into.
Like it's quite nice because you can make it yourself. So again, if like I know some people's New Year's resolutions, and mine in the past have been like to be more creative and like to do more art for fun. A bullet journal is a really easy
Yeah.
way to do that as well because you kind of have to make it yourself, so you can make it as creative or as simple as you want. Um, so it's a really easy way to like kind of keep track and keep on top of your goals.
Definitely. I think also with me with New Year's resolutions, I don't know if this is cheating, but I kind of make it as the year goes. So it could be in August that I'm making a couple of my resolutions. So I feel like there is no like limit or you have to have it by the first.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I do agree with that because I feel like the whole New Year, New Me kind of thing is quite overrated because it puts a lot of pressure on like puts a lot of pressure on yourself to like completely change all of your habits, and obviously like as people in general, that's not something that can happen. Nobody can just change overnight completely. So especially like a lot of people's New Year's resolutions are like the really basic ones, are, like exercise, eat better, do more work, stuff like that. You can't really do that overnight. Like that's something you have to work at. So I think making them
Yeah,
up kind of as you go along is actually kind of a good idea because there's no rule to say that you have to make your New Year's resolutions on the first.
definitely.
Because
And
also
then
like
like I feel like things happen as well during
yeah,
the year that may change
yeah,
and
exactly.
your
That's what I was
habits.
gonna say. Like for example, for me, I'm starting placement in 2021, but it'll be next year academically, but still this year. So that's in September. And
Yeah.
for you, you'll be graduating. So obviously, when that happens, our New Year's resolutions may change because we'll have different things to
Yeah.
focus on. Yeah,
Yeah. I think the whole idea about resolutions is just to put yourself on a positive mindset and give you something to look forward to and like push you to try things that you never thought you could try before or do things that you've always wanted to try but you never had the time to.
yeah, I definitely think that this, especially 2020, has been a really good year to try things that you haven't tried before. Like I know that a lot of people have tried to learn new languages or like find new hobbies. Like I started embroidering because I wanted something that I would have to actually work at because I had nothing to do. So yeah, I started embroidering. So I feel like 2021 that's like a good goal to kind of have is to like try and learn a new skill. And like you said earlier, you can kind of make that up as you go along. So like if you find out that halfway through the year, if you like, I don't know, discover a hobby, you think, oh, actually, I could be quite good at this, you can make that your New Year's resolution.
That's good embroidery.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that's
quite
something that
difficult to learn because it's something that's very basic that you kind of make complicated. So, like, the stitching itself is really easy, but what you
yeah.
make from that is difficult. So, but yeah, what other like are there any hobbies that you've seen other people do that you'd like to do yourself?
Um um yeah, I've always wanted to play an instrument
Do you play
because
any
I
instruments?
sorry?
Do you play any instruments?
No, I've always wanted to. I think the last 4 New Year's resolutions it was to learn a different instrument, and I never fulfilled my resolution. So I really would love to learn how to play anything musical. It can be a recorder, it could be a piano, it could be anything, just something, you know.
Yeah, I completely get that. I think that's a really good resolution to have because a musical talent it can help you create like a work life balance because you have something to relax you, but it's also a really like nice skill to have to learn an instrument. Do you have like an idea of what instrument you would want to try and learn? And like, are you going to try and learn it this year?
Piano. I'd love to. I think for me, again, the whole resolution thing, that it's in my resolutions that I try to start learning in the summer. That makes sense. Like I'm giving myself like a start date for each resolution.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's kind of like most of my resolutions this year. Apart from the reading a book a month, they don't really have a time restriction. They're just like stuff I want to improve on in general.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like I might add reading a book to my resolution. Might still yours. I think it's
Yeah,
good to read
no,
and stuff
it's
like that.
definitely something I find really useful because it does also help with like academics as well because it kind of helps you stay focused on reading stuff for a longer time. But it is also fun because especially if you don't read academic books, because my goal is to kind of read books that aren't to do with law because a lot of my books, even if they're fiction, somehow still have law or crime in them. So I'm going to try and stray from that type of book so that I can try and have a break from my degree.
Yeah, that sometimes we need like something to escape the stuff that we're doing. But that's good.
Yeah, so what are you grateful for like this year that you want to continue into 2021?
I'm grateful for the space that I was given in terms of everything, that you had more time to yourself, you know,
Yeah,
and allowed, I think, for everyone really to grow and to realize stuff that you probably didn't realize before, or like out of nowhere realize that, oh, you know how to do something, but because you've been distracted and you go here and there, that you've kind of discarded that hobby and then going back into it and stuff like that. So I would say I'm really grateful for the whole self growth and stuff like that, and I really want that to continue into the new year.
I definitely get that. Yeah, I think mine's kind of similar. I'm like quite grateful for not having pressure to do something. So like if I was like doing academic stuff, it was because I just wanted to learn it. And like with the embroidery, for example, there was no reason I had to do it. It wasn't for uni or it wasn't for like Instagram. It was just because I felt like doing it. And I also like started running again in lockdown, which again is something that I used to do for a reason. Like it was either to lose weight or to like get in like a daily exercise. But in lockdown, it was
Yeah.
generally just because I wanted to get out of the house and I felt like running. So I guess I enjoy doing stuff that I don't have like a deadline or a specific reason to do it. So I kind of want to do that
Yeah.
more this year. I guess just like do stuff for myself.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that I think that we should take from like resolution stuff. Like at times you may feel like pressured to do a certain resolution because either everyone's doing it or someone's told you to do it. So it's good to kind of like pick one for yourself and like know what you actually want to do and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like on the topic of hobbies, you said earlier that you wanted to like make your hobbies more than hobbies. So what do you mean by that? Do you mean like making it into a business or like creating like a platform like on Instagram?
Yeah, so of course, my mum,
Mm-hmm.
part time, she sews traditional clothes,
Oh wow.
and during the first lockdown, I started like like following her and sewing as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
making like accessories and that, and I was just doing it for a hobby. So I would love to kind of like take into the new year and make like a little business or just do more of it.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I feel like that, as well as I don't know, it's my little secret, but I knit as well.
Oh
So
really?
like, yeah, I know how to knit like scarves and stuff like that. So I'd love to continue that into the new year.
I mean that's definitely something that I feel like is in high demand right now. Like I know that like it's quite popular to like knit cardigans and that's obviously quite a big like project. But I think that's something you could like look into doing. And also like
Yeah,
setting up an Etsy because I know that's where a lot of people like sell stuff. So Yeah, you could always try and do that with knitting because there will definitely be people who will want to buy it. I think that's a really good thing to like focus on, especially if you're gonna like graduate this year. That'll give you something to like look forward to after graduation and like kind of help you de-stress on worrying about your masters.
Definitely. I feel like again, so I like because what I did last year was like anytime I did like an all nighter or something, I'd have like an hour break where I just do knitting or I do sewing or I just do something that I enjoy. It kind of removes the stress of the work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. That's kind of how I like have found it a way to like cope with online courses and stuff and like making the most of this current situation. I've kind of felt like doing other hobbies is a good way to focus on it. Like other hobbies that don't require a computer. So like stuff like reading or drawing or painting, embroidery, stuff like that. I did a lot of baking in lockdown. And yeah, I definitely did use my screen a lot though, because I definitely binged quite a lot of shows. But I've been trying to do that more healthily by like watching 1 or 2 episodes a day while I'm like, eating my dinner or doing some cleaning, stuff like that. Have you was there any shows that you watched during lockdown?
I kind of rewatched loads. In terms of TV shows, I think around the time there was like loads of like movies just happening on Netflix all the time.
Mhm.
So it just came to a stage where I'll just pick a genre and just be watching movies in it. There was no specific thing that like I was kind of interested in, but because I felt like I needed to do something, I would just keep watching movies.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely get
What
you.
about you?
Well,
Is
I
there any
started
TV series?
watching this TV show called Criminal Minds, and it
Mm-hmm.
is definitely quite an addictive show, but it is quite morbid as well in some places because it is basically about like this unit in the FBI and they just solve crimes. So some of the crimes can be quite scary. And I think that's because it was filmed quite a long time ago, so I guess it was just easier to get away with some of the like really explicit like murder scenes and stuff. But the show itself is really interesting. So someone in the comments said the best show you've seen recently, so I would say Criminal Minds. I also did start watching a show called This Is Us. I don't
Oh,
know
I
if
love
you've.
that show.
Yeah, it's so good. So, for anyone watching who hasn't heard of it, it's basically this show that focuses on these 3 siblings, one of who is adopted. They're triplets, and it's really clever because it flash forwards and flashbacks of like them when they're younger and then when they're a lot older, plus the current time. So that's a really good show if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any other shows that you've like wanted to watch? Because I've heard that there's this show on. Ken has just said in the comments JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because he is trying to get everyone to watch JoJo, and none of the RAs listened to him wanting us to watch that. But yeah, so it's a lovely show. Okay, maybe we should start watching it to make Ken happy. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other shows that are quite good. I've heard, I think it's called Bridgerton. I've never actually watched it. It's quite new on Netflix, but I've heard that that's really good.
Okay. I think I'm into more like I think kind of similar to Criminal Minds, but into stuff like Law and Order,
Mhm.
like that. I think I'm a very big like crime TV show person, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of shows to do with that. Like I've watched Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, which are
I
kind of
love I love
yeah, they're really good, but they are like quite long shows, so hard to rewatch because there's so many seasons. But they are
I
really
rewatch it all
good.
the time, every 3 months. I put my calendar and I rewatch it.
No, I've rewatched How to Get Away with Murder quite a few times actually, but Scandal, they took it off Amazon Prime, I think is where I was watching it. So I
No,
found
it
it quite
came
hard.
back.
Is it back?
Yeah. Yeah, it came back. I watched it last month.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch that again. But yeah. Ken has just said that you guys are on the JoJo hate bandwagon.
I thought, is it a cartoon? I don't watch cartoons.
Yeah, it's an anime.
Oh, I don't watch stuff like that. I think the most I know is Pokemon, and I don't know if that's part of it. The most I watch is Pokemon, but I don't know if that's part of it, like the family.
It doesn't feel like an anime, Ken says.
Oh.
Well, someone else has said it's a pretty cringe cartoon, and Ken has said it's very deep and emotional. So I don't know who's correct there. So I think, maybe we have to watch and find out.
Definitely. Is it like a movie or something?
I think it's a show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put that on my list.
So apparently Ken has cried 3 times in JoJo. What's the last movie or TV show that you have cried at?
What did you say? Sorry.
Are you someone who cries at TV shows? Is there a show that you've...
I cry I'm such a big crybaby. I cry all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I cry with every TV show that I watch.
Last
time I cried.
Sorry, what?
I cried. The last time I cried on a TV show was Simpsons.
Nice.
I think because when Homer's mum vanished and he was finding her, I was crying for 5 minutes. I just sat down, I was crying. Everyone around me was like, "Are you okay?" Like, yeah. No,
I do cry.
What about you?
No, I cry so easily. The last time that I cried at a movie was literally last night during Wonder Woman 2. And I cried because this is a spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but there's a scene where... Okay, I won't spoil it. But there's a scene and it made me cry. And I tried not to, and I had to hide under the blanket so that they couldn't see I was crying, but I was. I do cry at pretty much most shows. Someone said no spoilers, please. Yeah, don't worry, I won't spoil it. I won't say anything.
I think this is also what you said, is something that I feel like I cried at least 5 times.
So, that's why I prefer TV shows, because I kind of feel like they... you get more attached to the characters.
Definitely.
And I know sometimes good movies can make you do that as well, but sometimes I just don't get that same attachment.
No, definitely. But because, again, kind of look into their past, is that was part of their journey.
Yeah. Because, I watched this show called One Tree Hill, and...
I love that as well.
Mm-hmm. And again, I won't spoil it, but there is a character death that I sobbed at, and I was crying for a very long time. And a few episodes after that, whenever that character was mentioned, I would cry again.
Which character? Is it the uncle?
Yes.
Same.
It did make me cry a lot.
I see. It was on Prime.
Mm-hmm. And it's off now, I think.
Yeah, I think it's on all 4 now.
Oh, nice. Right.
Yeah. And now that's a very good TV series that I think everyone should watch. It's really good.
It is really good. I do definitely like it. But yeah, no, that's something I want to incorporate this year, is maybe watching some shows that I haven't already watched, because I'm definitely a rewatcher, so I've rewatched most of my shows rather than watching new shows. So I'm going to try and watch new shows. However, I do kind of want to rewatch Criminal Minds, so I'm going to have to decide which one. is more important
I
to
feel like it's
me.
hard to find new ones because I think we all have like a type or style of stuff that we like. So when
Definitely.
you've already find, it's easier to rewatch it than look for new ones.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking of New Year's resolutions and stuff, a topic I have is where do you see yourself in a year, and how will you get there?
I probably see myself this time next year, hopefully do my masters,
Mm-hmm.
and I see myself this time next year, hopefully like in my master year, and hopefully I've moved out of home by that time as well.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think?
I think my biggest, like, where I see myself next year is hopefully doing a placement, and then going into final year, I guess. And like, I just kind of hope that I have my life a little bit sorted out, so I know what I'm doing after uni and stuff. Because although I know like the general direction of where I want to go after uni, I don't actually know how I'm going to get there, kind of thing. So like, I know I want to do a career in law, but I don't really know how or what I want to do. So that's what I would do.
That's what I would do as well.
Yeah.
And kind of figure out what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what's good, like you like to do placement years, kind of allows you to like figure out what you like and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how have you found like term 1, and like how do you like what do you look forward to in term 2? Considering everything's online, I know it's definitely different to what most people expected uni to be like.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not looking forward to year 2 because again, I'm my 3rd year, so it's my disso term, as I would say. So not really looking forward to it, but gonna,
Power through.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel like I've said placement so many times, but that is pretty much what I'm looking forward most to, is finding a placement that I'm like excited to do, because I feel like a placement is kind of like a good bridge between still being at uni but still like going into like your career. So I'm hoping that will be successful, and I'm also kind of just looking forward to finding a good balance with online learning and hopefully just being on the path to getting a first, because that's my goal for this year. Yeah, Ken has said in the chat that he's excited. Ken has said in the chat that he's excited for his summer internship and excited to network with new people. So I think that's a really good like goal to have, is to network with new people, because especially depending on what career you have, networking can really help you get further in that career, because who you know can genuinely really help you in your career.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, networking is definitely a make or break. So LinkedIn is a really easy way to network. And this sounds like an advert, but it's not meant to be. But no, LinkedIn is a really good way to network, because you can kind of ask anyone for their LinkedIn and most people will give it to you without being weird about it. And then it's just an easy way to network, I guess. That's also something that uni has helped me do, is set up a LinkedIn, because I didn't have one before uni, I don't think. I think I had one, but it wasn't, like, I didn't use it at all. And it had, like, no picture or no, like, information on there. But now I think I have a better LinkedIn. Still not perfect, but yeah. Yeah, it was the professional development centre that helped me with my LinkedIn, actually. So, yeah.
And I think I'm kind of the first stage of where you said you were at in terms of LinkedIn. Like, I've made it, but I haven't done anything to it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of neglected it, and I feel like it's good to kind of use it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like the Professional Development Centre is quite a good way to fix up your LinkedIn, and they also help you fix up your CV, which is something I obviously needed to find a placement. So they're quite useful for that. Yeah, so any CV help, interview help is the Professional Development Centre. They are really useful because you can easily book an appointment online, and they have been quite helpful. But yeah, so you said you wanted to do a master's. So do you know what you want to do your master's on?
Yeah, so I've got the course, but with mental health, psychology. So I forgot the name of it, but it's to do with helping children who have mental health.
Okay.
So that's what my master's is about. That's what I want to be. I'm a child psychologist. So of course, I think throughout again 2020, I was kind of researching like what I wanted to do, like I can get there, and yeah, I feel like that's how I kind of found my chosen course.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice career to aspire to.
Yeah, even talking about your business, do you know exactly what you like? Or is it anything more?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, I don't think my mic's on properly. So, for you said you wanted to do a placement. Do you know exactly what type of placement you like to do? Or is it just anything in law?
Well, yeah, I kind of want to do a placement in a law firm rather than a company, which is why that I have to wait till January, so now, I guess, to find a placement because most firms don't open their placements until now. But yeah, I want to find a firm, and I preferably would like to do something in either criminal law or family law or medical malpractice. Those are the three that I would like to go into. I would like do anything, and I have applied to a few like commercial law ones just so that I don't have to not find anything because I don't want to be without a placement. But yeah, so Ken said, would you consider doing a law placement in finance, e.g. Goldman and Sachs? Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't mind doing a finance placement. I probably wouldn't go for it. I would do it if I had to do like if it was my last choice kind of thing, but I wouldn't really want to do a finance one because I don't like maths. So I wouldn't want to do anything with numbers. So and yeah, so someone has said that they're not doing a placement anymore due to the fact that they can't be a paralegal in their area of choice. I don't know if they'll reply, but what is your area of choice? And yeah, I can. Would you have to do maths and finance law? I think you would, or you might not have to do maths, but you'd have to be around maths, and I don't like numbers at all. So I just don't want to be around maths, even because on the off chance I would have to do a quick maths equation, I would not be able to do it. No, I didn't say the placement sucks. No, I don't think it's. I think it's a good idea though, but I just wouldn't. I just don't like finance, and I kind of want to do a placement in an area that I'm looking to go into, and I don't really want to go into finance. I'd rather go into like criminal or family or like medical law because I find that quite interesting. But yeah, someone has said that their area of choice was Army Legal Services. So yeah, that's quite annoying that you can't find a placement in that area. But then at the same time, I wouldn't like worry too much about it because although a placement is really useful, you can still do like really good things without having a placement, and it's not a necessary thing. It's definitely helpful and can be fun if you do want to do it, but it's not something I would say you have to like worry about kind of thing.
Yeah, you can always do a graduate placement as well.
Yeah, exactly. So Ken has said that they've got a summer internship in financial stability strategy and risk, and a placement in business consulting. So a lot of maths. So yes, I would not enjoy that because it's not for me.
Yeah, maths is very.
I'm definitely more of an English and writing person. But yeah. So do you which like side of academics do you prefer, maths or like English and stuff?
English.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like maths, but I don't like it anymore. I think coming into uni and seeing the maths, but I don't like it anymore. So
Yeah, I used to really
English.
like maths actually until I did it in A level.
You did what in A level?
Maths, and then I disliked it.
I did it for A level, and I had to like drop it, but I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I much prefer like essay writing.
Same.
And Ken said, yeah, no, the jump from GCSE to A level maths was insane. Ken said that in the comments, but yeah, it has been. It was a huge jump, and I did not like it.
In GCSE is like a U in A level. It's something like that.
That is insane, and honestly makes sense because A level maths is difficult.
Very difficult.
But yeah, do you have any advice for people like looking for masters or like placements this year? Because obviously with 2021 we're going to be kind of struggling with the mess of 2020. So are there any like, do you have any advice?
I feel like make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first thing I did was I kind of went to uni and saw like the deadline for applications. Mm-hmm. They kind of gave me a time frame to like give me time to understand what I wanted to do. So in terms of masters, like you can either do a generic master or a specific one. So depending on what you think you want to do, like I knew from the moment I started uni what I wanted to be. So I found it quite easy to kind of find a master course that was catered to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Like again, if you don't know what you want to do, I would say like kind of like speak to people or kind of maybe look at everything you've done in uni and kind of like what you're interested in terms of the modules that you've done, and then just take it from there.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice. Yeah, so Kenna said that to do more to stand out. So that's kind of what I was going to say is like, because of everything being moved online, there is a lot of access to like online internships, and you can do them quite quickly. Like you can do like a weekend internship or even a week one. And I think those are really useful because they kind of bulk up your CV whilst also giving you yourself experience in them.
No, definitely.
Someone said, in my special skills, I can cook minute rice in 58 seconds. Is that standing out? If your degree is something in cooking, then yes. Otherwise, no. But yeah, so yeah, I don't think that's the best standing out, but
it is impressive, but it's not, I think, what they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely, especially if you want to do law. I don't know if cooking minute rice in 58 seconds is exactly what they look for in a career in law. But yeah, so stuff like online internships and even just reading into the area that you're interested in is a good idea, and seeing if you can get any kind of placements, or like, again, LinkedIn is quite useful for this, to find people who've done the same career that you want to go into, and like connect with them on LinkedIn and message them, especially if they've also gone to the same uni as you. Then that's like a really good way, because they'd be more likely to talk to you and like be friendly. And the worst that they can do is just say, sorry, I can't help you. But on the off chance they might have connections in their like firm or wherever they work, and they could either help you or like just give you advice on what you can do. So yeah, Ken said that reading papers and news on your topic goes a long way. That definitely is true because it kind of makes it easy to have a conversation. And I think this is Sam, who's cheeky squirrel. How are you feeling about the MCT this month? Princess, I don't know if you have exams, but
No.
I have a multiple choice test on I think the 12th for law. And how am I feeling about it? Not great, if I'm honest. Just because I had another one in December and I have no idea how it went. I could not tell you if it went well or went bad because I did it faster than the time needed. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, yeah. Yeah, and It's All Good said that LinkedIn is underrated and that they feel like a lot of people forget it's useful for almost any career or job role. And it definitely is because you can kind of use LinkedIn for literally anything, for networking, to get experience, and because a lot of people put their unis on there, you can do it like you can find out who went to the same uni as you, so like alumni, and that's really useful because then you can kind of see where you can end up. Oh yeah, okay, so it was Sam, and Sam said that he did it in half an hour. Okay, I also did it in a similar time, and I was really worried that I'd messed it up, and I just kept rechecking it the entire time. So okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, but we'll see when the results come out if that's a good sign or a bad sign. So yeah,
I'm the same because I need to do exams and I'll finish early. I'll be looking around like, are we supposed to finish early, or is it just me, or did I get it wrong and stuff like that?
yeah, exactly. I was so concerned. I was so unsure if I had finished it correctly or not. If I had like missed a few questions, I just had no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you not have any exams soon?
No. I got to pick my module and I made sure that none of the modules I picked asked for exams.
Mm.
So they're all essays. Yeah.
So yeah, Ken said that he had his exams in December. I had mine in December and in January, so that's fun. Oh, he cried about them. So did I, to be fair. But no. Oh, he said he didn't actually cry. There's nothing wrong with crying.
Honestly, it's okay to cry.
Yeah, no, it is okay to cry. But with exam stress, that's a good thing to talk about, actually. It's quite difficult, especially now everything being online. It's quite difficult to focus, considering your entire exam is online, especially when the entire day you've been on your computer, like revising and stuff. So I think a good tip is to, like, leave the house, exercise, take a break, watch some TV shows. Yeah, crying is definitely a normal part of academic life.
Definitely. It's good to have one like just before, just after.
Yes, exactly. I don't know what they're talking about in the chat. Sadly, the gyms are shut. Yeah, I do think that it's quite irritating that gyms are shut. Like, obviously, I completely understand why, because it's very easy to spread corona in a gym. But yeah, it's annoying that gyms are shut, but at the same time, I do think it's kind of nice to experience exercise like outside of the gym because not being able to go to the gym has made me get back into running, and especially with the November challenge we did, I had to start doing running. And yeah, so It's All Good said in the comments, everyone get a pull-up bar and do some mad body weight stuff. So yeah, getting like some weights at home and doing some home exercise. And I know that a lot of people have found that like exercising is difficult. So yeah, a lot of people find that exercising at home is difficult. So there's a lot of like influencers who have made like exercise videos. And yeah, Ken says that climbing the stairs after his McDonald's delivery, does that count? It definitely does count because that's cardio. So, you know, that's definitely an exercise. I'd say it counts. Depends on how many stairs you have though. Because if it's only like 2 stairs, it's not really cardio. So, no, of course, Ken, no. That's still cardio. So, 4 flights, but that's definitely cardio. Exactly, yeah. Calf raises on the steps, that's definitely a good way to exercise. But no, a lot of people have posted like YouTube videos online of doing like home exercise videos, which can be quite useful, especially because everyone's in the same boat now. So a lot of these exercises are done to like be able to be done at home. So yeah. I type out essays, does that count as cardio? Finger cardio, I guess. Maybe you should walk while you're typing the essay. Like carry your laptop.
Where? Like carry the laptop and go for a run?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It definitely does raise your heart rate, so technically counts as cardio. But yeah, I've stopped running because it's too cold outside to run. So I'm gonna try and start getting back into that, and then also do some like more of those home videos because they can be quite hard to find, and sometimes I do feel a bit silly doing them in my room by myself, but they do help. So Ken said that's why you should do assignments close to deadline time for maximum heart rate. That kind of sounds like, I don't know if we should encourage leaving your assignments close to the deadline.
But I do believe that, especially the day before it's due,
like,
I don't know what happens, but people can type so much.
It definitely does make it.
That.
The pressure definitely does make it easier to type fast, but it's probably better to do. Okay, so Ken said his personal deadline is 3 days before the official deadline. That's a good thing, I think. I always try and make sure I've done it completely before the deadline.
Yeah, I feel like a week before, but leave room to like I always leave one paragraph until the day before. I think a week before I finish, leave the conclusion or something for the day before, because I end up like adding more stuff to other bits. That makes sense?
Yeah, to be fair, I think it depends on what works for you, because in the chat, It's All Good said to start doing it months in advance so that you can procrastinate loads. So although procrastinating probably isn't something you should encourage, that is pretty much a good idea, because then there's less pressure on yourself. So I guess it depends on what works best for you. So if you find that pressure works really well for you, then it could be a good idea to start your assignment closer to the deadline date. Don't leave it too close, but closer. But for people who don't work well under pressure, it's definitely a good idea to start it as early as possible. But yeah, what do you think? So? You said that you work best under pressure.
Yeah, it's like a mix of both.
Yeah, I agree.
In advance, but then I leave like a part of the essay, like a paragraph, until like for a day or two before. Because then when I'm under pressure, it just, after I've done everything, my essay sounds better. than it did when I stopped a week ago.
Yeah, I feel you. I kind of, even if I'd done the essay like a month in advance, I still end up pulling an all-nighter before the essay, the day before it's due, just adding stuff and like being a perfectionist about it. So I do think that that's something I need to work on this year, is to try and not do all-nighters, because not having sleep is never a good idea.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's like a really good method. So It's All Good said that he starts an essay plan and combs through notes super early and starts working on little bits of the major points, then look for quotes, and by that it's basically done. That's for English essays though. So yeah, so that's kind of similar to mine as well, because I do law. So by the time I've written out an essay plan and added in cases, it's pretty much done. I just have to write out like the connective words. So I definitely think that helps. That's also why I like to read, and like my New Year's resolution is to read a lot, because it's an easy way to pick up vocabs. Yeah, so Ken said that it's different for all courses. He reads economics. Yeah, so reading around your degree can give you like a lot of help, and it can also give you like little words and phrases that you didn't know before that are quite like good to have in an essay, like impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Ken says that JoJo is influenced by good literature. I mean, what literature is it based on? Shakespearean tragedies. Okay. I did not know that. I mean, if that's true, then I guess that counts as good literature then.
Wow.
But yeah, Princess, you said that you would like to read more in this year. Like what kind of... You said that you would like to do a similar resolution to me and read more this year. Like, is there a specific type of book that you like?
Not really. For me, I'm not really. So it's just any book, just as long as it's kind of interesting. I like mystery, murder mystery and stuff like that. So anything that involves that, I love to read.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. I mean, there's a book that I read that I posted a book review for on our Instagram. Actually, I don't know if it's been posted yet. It's called The One, and I won't say anything in case anyone wants to read it, but I would definitely recommend it if you like crime and stuff, because it's definitely a really good crime book. But yeah, I usually read crime books, but I'm kind of trying to stray away from that because, like I said, I watch Criminal Minds and my degree is law, so I feel like all of my fun stuff is to do with my degree. So I'm going to try and stray away from that and see if I can read other books.
That's good. Because I think I don't really read because normally the books I read are like self-help books and stuff like that. Like the typical, so it'd be good to like read an actual book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the chat, I think they're talking about JoJo. Right. See, Ken just influences everyone with his JoJo obsession. If you've ever been on shift with Ken, he will bring up JoJo. And now, even in this podcast, JoJo has... No, Ken, that wasn't meant to be attacking you. It's just a fact. It's not a problem that you like JoJo. I think it's nice that you're so passionate about getting everyone to watch it. But yeah, maybe one day... Yeah, no, it was definitely not attacking. Maybe one day I'll watch JoJo, maybe. I might need more convincing though. So we'll see. Hopefully before next year. Maybe that should be our New Year's resolution, to watch JoJo so that Ken is happy that he had an influence on us. I'm sure they don't. He said that the rest hate them. Ken said that the rest hate me for it. I don't think anyone hates you for your JoJo promotion, but I do think that you should contact the creators of JoJo and try and get paid for it, because you're honestly doing paid promotion. So
be an ambassador. Yeah.
But no. Maybe I'll watch JoJo, as my New Year's resolution, so that Ken is, exactly, an RA and JoJo collab. I think that's good. We should all cosplay as JoJo characters. I don't know how many characters there are, if that's even plausible, but, Ken, who would you want to cosplay as?
I'm guessing JoJo.
Oh, no response, pain. Ken already wants to cosplay. As who? Either Joseph, Joestar, or Stat Platinum. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure why I asked that question, because I don't know who any of them are. But
I think there's a dog. There's not a dog in it.
I have no idea. But I mean, you heard it here first. I want to cosplay as Grandpa JoJo and then become useless after my series is over. Okay, well, maybe we have to do an RA and JoJo collab. Okay, we have a bot. I don't know how to remove them from the chat. Okay, they've been deleted. Thank you, Sam. So, Princess, what... Okay, yeah, they've been banned a lot. So what do you have in mind for the rest of this year?
So could you repeat that? I couldn't hear properly.
What do you have, apart from academics, what do you have in mind for the rest of this year?
To be a driver, I think that's something that I've been delaying for ages.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of my list to be a driver.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I also can't drive, so I probably should learn to drive, but I don't know when that would be plausible.
Apparently, the best time to do it was last year, to do the revision and stuff like that, or theory and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did actually start driving lessons, but then ended up missing a few because I can't remember why. I think I was just ill, and then I missed a few lessons and I just never went back. So yeah, Ken has said that this last year has taught us not to leave anything to tomorrow. If you could do it today, do it today. And to be fair, that's definitely quite a good motto, I'd say. And if you can do it as soon as you can. So if you have the means to have driving lessons, do them as soon as possible, to be fair. That's definitely a good idea. And yeah, Sam has said that last year has taught me that the doggo is the cutest thing on the planet. And yes, that's definitely true. His dog is very cute. Yeah. Princess, do you have any pets?
I've got, I think, they keep dying. I think I've got 3 fishes left.
Oh, you have fish? That's cute. Yeah, I used to have fish.
Yeah. I don't know what they are.
Younger.
I just know that we have fish. What do you say?
I had a lot of fish when I was younger, but not anymore.
Yeah. Got a couple. What are you? Do you have any pets?
No, I don't. I really wish I did. I want a cat so badly, but unfortunately, my landlord will not let me get one.
Oh.
Yeah. Ken has just said that he gave his goldfish a heart attack because he kept hitting the glass. But he was 2, so it's not like it was malicious. But yeah, that's actually why my goldfish died, was because my younger sister, I think she was about 3 or 4, kept like feeding them when I left the room. So they were overfed. So sad. But yeah.
I think mine's opposite, because we have a pond, so our fishes are in the pond. I think there was like, we forgot to feed them so many times.
Oh no.
And it was really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we had 5.
So maybe your New Year's resolution should be to create a fish feeding schedule so you don't kill any more fish.
Definitely.
You can use that as a revision break. Go feed the fish.
I need to go and feed them tonight even.
Yeah, maybe do that. But yeah, I think we're getting at the time that we're going to end. So thank you anyone and everyone who was listening, and thanks to everyone in the chat for having a very active podcast. And I hope you have a happy new year, and I hope that this 2021 is exactly what you want it to be.